Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And yes, I am in a different setting right now. As you can see, I'm not at home, I'm at my missus's house. So please bear with. We also do have train lines around there that can be quite annoying sometimes as well. But anyway, let's move forward because there's some big Chelsea news going forward. I was going to start with the Lukaku news, but we will start on Erling Haaland because something recently has just come out today. I want to keep you guys updated as well. But before we do that, please smash that like button. Please smash that like button. Let's get to 40 likes. If you're new to GNA TV, subscribe. The giveaway currently at the moment is still out. Yeah, so you can get involved in the giveaway. And yeah, to get involved in that, you need to go over to the GNA TV official Instagram page over there. Can you hear that? Because that is annoying. That is a train flying past every 5 minutes, which is slightly frustrating anyway. But how you all feeling anyway? Because there is big news to bring up for you guys. I kind of wanted to stay away from the Haaland news because I know a lot of people have been talking about it and I didn't want to bore you about it. But there has been some new news on the Erling Haaland story today. And we will touch base on that first. But let's quickly go through some of your chats. Josh, we will be releasing the link in about half hour's time, 40 minutes time. Once I've just gone through this quick update with you guys on the transfer news, you guys can come in, get involved, chat. Say, well, big up to you. Fatter's in the house talking German. I think he is German. I think it was German anyway. Erling Haaland's here. Listen, Erling Haaland, you're coming, yeah? You're coming, bro. That's good. That's good to see. Wayne says, big up, Jen. Let's have an agenda run wild. Do you know what? Look, big up to you as well, David. With the Erling Haaland thing, right? I still don't think he'll come. I know Chelsea are... There's talks of Chelsea being, him being the number one target at Chelsea, potentially for 150 mil. Chelsea bringing him for that figure as well. I do think that Dortmund will try and push for more. I think in terms of Erling Haaland, they will want more. There's been a tweet today that's came from Matt Law, which I'm going to share with you guys now, which was about not even half hour ago. Literally not even half hour ago. He's talking about, let's wait for you guys to see it. Erling Haaland's believed to be interested in Chelsea move, whether it's this year or the next. Now, I would love him to, for me, when it comes to strikers between Lukaku, Kane, and Haaland himself, I've always wanted Haaland. Now, I know a lot of Chelsea fans have been very skeptical of bringing him in because they're worried about him not being proven. Or, his form might dip, or etc. But when you've got a generational talent available, when you've got a generational talent looking and even sniffing your football club, a club like Chelsea, a club that can literally buy because they're aggressive, and one of the only teams in world football right now that can afford Haaland as well. This is what people need to understand as well. We're one of the only teams that can afford him. 150 mil. If that's put on the table to Dortmund, then that really tells me that Chelsea are here. They're here to talk. And he's made it very clear here that he's interested, whether it be this year or next. Even if he has to wait another season. So he's even mentioned if he has to wait another season, he's happy to stay at Dortmund for one more season and try and firm something up whilst the season's going on with Chelsea. Talks are in negotiations, etc. Like I said, if he's available and we can get him, why not? What the guy can bring to our team is that killer instinct. Someone to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, provide you double-digit goals. You're going to spend that kind of money. You're going to want him to come in and score goals. At the same time, people do need to bear in mind the Premier League is different to the Bundesliga. And yes, he might have a slight dip in form at our football club. But like I said, if he's available and he wants to play for our football club, then we have to go for him. You have to. You can't miss an opportunity like this. We always, Chelsea fans, have all said the one thing that we need to do massively, and if we could get it sorted, is find a striker. And the top 3 strikers were who? Lukaku, who we're going to talk about a bit later, Haaland, and Harry Kane. Now, it looks like Harry Kane's probably going to go to Man City. I've heard talks of Lukaku potentially going to Man City because Man City are looking not to spend that kind of money on Kane, and they think they can just use Lukaku as a cheaper option. But this is huge news. You know, this is huge news. But what I want to ask you, viewers, is would you have Erling Haaland at Chelsea this season, or would you wait for next? What would you do? And would you be willing to spend £150 million and probably some mad wages? Because let's be serious, he's going to be worth a huge ton of money. He's going to demand a good 200, 100, probably 200 at least minimum wage structure per year from Chelsea Football Club, and that's a lot of money. It's a massive amount of money. You know, I'm just going to see what some of you are saying. Are we really going to get Haaland? Well, the talks, I think it's possible. You know, I really do think it is possible. You know, we are interested. We are interested in doing so. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a problem with my comments box at the moment. It's not letting me scroll down. There we go. A great angle. Oh, literally, Fata. It's so annoying, bro. Honestly, these trains are under something else. Hope you put something on the end of it, Erling. Erling's the guy. Erling's the guy that Chelsea are looking for. I'm very optimistic about Haaland. Timo Werner was a 20-plus goal a season striker in the Bundesliga. Now, the difference between Haaland and Werner is I think Haaland is obviously the more clinical striker. I know Werner scored 30-plus goals in a season, and yes, it was the Bundesliga. Don't get me wrong. But Haaland, when you look at Haaland, you look at what he possesses, what he can bring. Not only is he strong with the ball, he can score goals. He's good in the air. His hold-up play, which people don't actually rate that much, is very, 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 very good. It is very good. You know, and barring, I would say, Harry Kane, he would have been the man for me to come in. So if we didn't get him, I would have said, all right, Harry Kane, fair enough if we could get him. But we're never going to get that. Anyone else who watches Bundesliga has noticed Haaland struggled to score goals when Sancho was out injured. And Ben, that's fair enough. And I get your point. And why is that? Think about it. Because in Borussia Dortmund, their most creative player is Sancho. Yes, he scores goals, but he also creates. And Haaland's going to need players to create for him if we're to get the best out of him. So we've got that. We've got that in abundance. We've got that in abundance. We've got Pulisic. We've got Havertz. We've got Mason Mount. We've got Ziyech, who was brought in to create. Haaland would slip into this team beautifully. You know, he would. And you would only have to look at our front line and think, wow, look how young it is. That front line is for the future. Havertz, Pulisic, Haaland. You know, even Timo Werner to a degree, if he can sort out his season next season. Ziyech is more on the older side, might not be here as long. We've got a good amount of players ready to come in. Now, the original reports that I was going to give you before Matt Law came out with Haaland moving to Chelsea was that there was talks about Dortmund looking to only sell either or Sancho or Haaland. They wasn't looking to sell both of them at the same time. There was talks about them holding on to one of the two. So for me, it looks like Sancho will go, you know. And one of the things that worries me slightly with Dortmund, I know people saying, well, if Chelsea put the money down, they'll go for it because his contract release, his release clause drops next season. So if they can get full money with full wages, Haaland will take it because he knows he'll get the money he wants now. And Dortmund will take it because they know they won't get 150 million next year. They won't be able to because, like I said, the contract clause will reduce. So if Chelsea do lay that money on the table, there is a huge situation that he might come to Chelsea. There's a huge possibility, a massive possibility now. And it seems like Chelsea are aggressive. It seems like Chelsea are interested. It seems like Chelsea want him. Roman Abramovich has made it very clear that in terms of striker, he has always been the number one. It's not been Harry Kane and it's not been Lukaku. The main man that they wanted was Erling Haaland. And we've seen how aggressive Chelsea can be. And the one thing with Chelsea, they never, ever, ever show their cards early. Ever. You know that yourselves. They don't. They do everything behind the scenes. You know, they work very hard negotiating wages. They work very hard to potentially negotiate the price to get the right price. And they work very hard with the opposing club in terms of their player and their demands and whatever and what they want. The only time you really hear that Chelsea are interested or you know, or are going to pull a player or announce a player is when they're pretty much nearly there. So right now, Chelsea could be doing that, and none of us really know. All we can see is Matt Law saying that Haaland's interested if Chelsea can get it sorted with Dortmund. You know, so do not be surprised if Chelsea in the backgrounds already are trying to sort this out. You know, it might not be sorted out by the Euros. I don't think so. It'll probably be later in the Euros. Look, if it happens, it happens. But I'm like you. I think he will stay at Dortmund. And Andrew, I agree with you. I do think that's the case. I do think that there's a potential that he can. But the only thing that throws that out the water, the only reason that may get thrown out the water is if we put down that 150. Because Dortmund ain't getting that next season. His clause drops. His clause drops massively, which means clubs will come in at him and not have to pay 150. What it would be, I don't know. What it'd be, I don't know. But for the money that he is at the moment and the contract that he's currently in at the moment, he's worth a lot at the moment, put it that way. So Dortmund will open it. As soon as they feel 150 million knocking on their door, they won't think twice. I don't think, but we'll have to see. Good creation is not a problem in our team, is what Zubir says. Andrew says, anyone notice how awful Sancho looks without Haaland? Narratives can run how you zant them too. Oh yeah, I think that's what he means anyway. But Dropper 2012 says, if you're worried about Haaland scoring goals, you have no ball knowledge, Chelsea fans. And he's right. You can't be worried about Haaland potentially dipping in form. Is Erling Haaland missing them chances that Timo Werner misses? Answer me that question, why that train keeps going past. Does Erling Haaland miss the chances that Timo Werner had? Them 20-odd big chances. I know Fata's in the chat as well. Them 20-odd big chances. Does he miss them? I don't think he does. Would Chelsea be in a better position? I think they would. I really do think they would. Listen, there's 30 of you here right now. Please smash that like button. Let's do that. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV. Let's try and get to 30 likes, please, people. Yeah, we're not far away from it at the moment. If we can do that, also share on your socials as well. Let's try and build up a bit of steam in here. We will be releasing the link as well. I want you to come in. I want to get your thoughts on the news that Matt Law announced today that Erling Haaland is interested in a move to Chelsea Football Club. He is either this or even next. The fact that he's even saying even next tells me that Chelsea is one of the teams that he would like to go to. He is one of the teams he is one of the teams that Chelsea are one of the teams that he wants to go to. We have the money to get Haaland. Dortmund have no choice but to accept our bid because they will still have to sell him for 70 mil next season. That's a big L for them. And Farhad has said it right there, and I've been saying it at the beginning of this stream. If Chelsea offer anywhere around 150 million, they have to. The logic says, from a business perspective, that you have to accept it. You have to. I know they've got Champions League. I know they're probably going to lose Sancho. I know they're not going to want to lose both. We know that they're not going to want to lose both. But money talks. And there will be players after Haaland, after Sancho, that Dortmund will bring in and potentially do if the same job. Because they're very good at bringing players in and getting the best out of them. It's proven. Look at Dortmund's history. They are a selling club. They sell. They're a selling club. So it could happen. Fata says Timo Werner plus Haaland equals Fata bomb times 4. BBB would get 240 million for Jaden and Erling. They can't refuse that. And Hassan's right there. Look at the amount of money they would have made. Look at the amount of money they would have made off 2 players. It's a lot of money. And if Chelsea are serious, they will go for him. They will. Haaland transfer reminds me of Havertz transfer in the happening, boys. And Drogba, do you know what? I said that on Twitter. I actually said that to someone on Twitter. It might be in a space. I said the Haaland transfer is moving like the Havertz situation. That's what I'm feeling. mentality to be a flop, is what Farhad here said. Hello, Velv. Keeps calling me dad. Erling Haaland's here as well. I hope you are the Erling Haaland, and I hope you are interested, bro. We offer 150 mil. I can't see how they can refuse that. Could replace him with Daka and still be up by 120. And that's true. They could bring Daka in because Dortmund can risk that. Dortmund can risk that. They're not always... Dortmund are not expected to win the German league because Dortmund, Munich have always ran away with it and done that for years after years. Haaland will go one day, whether it's this season or next. Haaland will leave and he will go wherever he's going to go. The only thing that Chelsea need to do is if they seriously want him, they need to do it now. Because there is not any club in world football, barring Chelsea and potentially Man City, that are going to put that money down that Dortmund want now. What all of these European clubs want is to, or hope, is that people like Chelsea, people like Man City, yeah, all these big clubs that have the money, the oil money, as people say, in many ways, they are hoping that none of us go for him this season. Whether it's to do with wages, whether it's to do with the release clause, they are hoping that Chelsea do not do that. Why? Because going into next season, that clause drops from 150, potentially down to 80, 70 mil. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. You know, that is a lot of money for them to lose. So, yeah, they might want to keep him and not sell him. But if there's a club being serious, if there's a club being serious that's willing to put that funds down on the table for that individual, they're gonna listen to it. They're gonna listen to it. They're definitely gonna listen to it. Apparently, Dortmund do want two of our players, and that's another thing. They might, we might do a bit of a cash plus a player plus cash movement. Is that not an option? Is that not an option? Player plus cash. Callum Hudson-Odoi, if Sancho and Haaland leaves, might want him for 40 bills, 50 bills. Might only have to pay him 100 mil and then sort out Haaland's wages. Is that not an option? Guys, there's 40 of you here still. Please smash that like button, please. Please keep doing that. Let's try and get to 40 likes. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe. You're getting a lot more of this as well. We are doing watch-alongs this weekend for the Euro, so make sure you tune in for that as well. Even Werner wants Haaland. Let's not disrespect Werner. It hurts fans and fumes them. I hear that. I do hear that. No Werner versus Haaland debate. It's not nice and toxic. I agree. Tamir/Mount, LOL. Yeah, we've got a super chat from Chelsea's own. Thank you for the donation, bro. Massively appreciate it on there. How I wish we could look in-house in our academy and produce our own striker who could be world-class rather than look at Haaland. And I do hear that, but when you think of Chelsea and you think about what they've done since Roman's come in, can you name me how many young academy players can you name me that we've bought through? Lampard bought through Mason Mount, and you could argue Reece James. Callum Hudson-Odoi, but has he really been bought through? Loftus-Cheek, again, has he really been bought through? I agree to an extent with that. I do. I'm for going, our scouting system doing their job, maybe looking at our own. We've got the largest low knees out there in the world. We've got one of the best academies in world football that continuously win at the highest level. Sometimes it is good to look close to home, but the issue you got with that is that means that you want to give them time. At the moment, I think Chelsea are a football club that want to win things, continuously win things each and every season. And I think by us playing a statement down like 150 for Erling Haaland tells me that we're serious, tells me that we want to spend the dough. This tells me that we are serious, tells me that we're not interested in just bringing through youth right now. We know what we need. We need a striker. We need someone that can put it in the back of the net. Can we forced to rely on an academy player to come in and do that straight away? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We ain't got that time. But what we can do is allow Giroud and Tammy to go, look to bring some of the strikers through the academy, buy an Erling Haaland, Timo Werner and Erling Haaland, and have the option of bringing in someone as well to mix with these great players, these young, great players. Yeah, why not? We might have our own, not say Haaland, our own Didier Drogba. as an example. I do agree with that, Chelsea Zone. I really, really do get that to a degree. And thank you for the super chat again on that one. Being close contact with Fabrizio Romelu Haaland will be announced while in Euros. Abramovich ain't joking, guys. He promised Tuchel a top 9 this summer. And there you go. Vido has just said it here. Please be in close contact with Fabrizio Romano. So do you know him? If you do, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Come in and have your say, Vido. It'd be good to have you on if you know him or if you've spoken to him. Yeah. Why not? Come on. Give us some news. Tell us why you think. Tell us why you think this is a possible deal. We have got some other news we're going to fly through as well. But I seem to be stuck on a Haaland for a very long time. I think you've all been stuck on Haaland for a very, very long time. Yeah, let's hit that like button, please, people. Let's smash it. Let's try and get to 50 likes. And subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. I will be bringing you content like this throughout the transfer window as soon as it happens as well. Imagine a front four of Werner, Haaland, Havertz and Mount. Ooh! The champions of Europe, yeah? The champions of Europe. That's how we roll. We don't fuck about. We've got a chairman that shows his love. Shows his love to his club. You know? Shows his love to his club. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. We're at 30 likes, people. Thanks for getting us there. The next aim is 40 likes. So let's try and get to the 40. 100 million plus Tammy and Cho for Haaland. And Sancho could be a fantastic deal. I hear that. I am going to release the links, guys. I am going to release the links. So make sure you stay tuned in because you will be able to come in and have your say very, very soon. I've just got to go through some Lukaku news, quick Lukaku news. We're going to go through some Hakimi quick news as well. And then I'm just going to show you some quick stats and then we'll get you in having your say. And we'll do this all very quickly because we've been on 25 minutes talking about Haaland already. And why not? Why not? I want to stay gassed. I know yous want to stay gassed. When Chelsea get linked with the best, why not? Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because we've got a club, we've got an owner, we've got a board, we've got people that love our club, that show their love. I believe that Haaland under Tuchel would be fire, even better than right now. That's what Andre says. That's what Andre says. They're right there. And I agree to a degree. I think Tuchel, you've already seen Tuchel manage to get average players looking very good. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when he brings in an Haaland who's already proven and still has to improve in certain parts of his game? Tuchel will work on that with him. Tuchel will work on that with him. Tuchel will know that he's still raw. And he is still raw, people. Remember that. He's still very raw. He's still very young. Yeah? He's still very young. There's room for improvement. And what a manager. What a manager to be able to possess and get the best out of a player like Erling Haaland than our own Thomas Tuchel. A man that I hope potentially stays on here, you know, and we push forward with this project. All these young, great generational players that are with us and being linked with us. You know, it's huge. Just going to quickly go through some of these quickly, and then I'm going to go on to quick other news. Reece, Callum, Andreas, Mount, Ruben, Tammy, all part of the academy and loan system. I hear that, and that is true. Haaland, watching you from Dortmund, you like a midfielder who can split that defence open. Now, there's a lot of people saying Haaland would struggle against a low block because we don't make many chances. You know, he won't have many chances, but we will make chances. And I don't think he needs more than 1 or 2 chances to convert. I do. I just don't think he needs more than 1 or 2 chances to convert. He's that good. He's that good. Rivals tears can't get championship players. That's true. That is true. Right. In other news, quickly, let me just quickly. Why Fabrizio doesn't talk about Haaland? Can you tell me, Jem? Why Fabrizio he doesn't talk about Haaland? No, we're talking about Matt Law. Some other guy in the chat was saying that Romano, he's close to Romano, but he might come on. So let's see what happens with that. Jim, can football players is allowed to be sold when he has not paid off and allowed to sell Lukaku under financial regulation because Inter has not paid 60% of Lukaku to Man United? Can footballer player is allowed to be sold when he has not paid being? Yes, they can. I think I get what you're saying, yeah, and I think I get what you're saying. The answer is yes to that. Of course they can. I know what you're saying because the fee itself would be paid to Man United, not Inter. And that's another thing people don't know about Lukaku. Inter Milan selling Lukaku doesn't mean that financially suits them, because Man United put a clause in their contract that, any after Inter, wherever he goes, providing he hits his level targets, that fee or certain amount of that fee, proportion of that fee, goes to Man United. So they lose out, which is mad. Absolutely mad. We've got another super chat here from Chelsea Zone. He says, for me, Haaland is too much of a gamble. For that kid kind of money, Premier League unproven as well. My safe bet would be Lukaku, to be honest. At least he's done it. And I've heard this a lot. I've heard a lot of people say this. And I understand that. But you've got an opportunity to sign a generational talent, someone that I think can honestly break records in the Premier League. And in a team that currently has a manager that's got the players ticking and playing well, but just needs a striker to put the ball in the back of the net. The guy is going to score loads of goals at Chelsea Football Club. I do not worry about that. I do not worry about Haaland coming to Chelsea and not scoring goals. Yes, he might have a dip where he don't score for 3 or 4 games. That might happen. Maybe more. Maybe 1 in 5 or 2 in 7. But people need to understand that he's still a raw talent. He's a great talent. And his stats, we'll look at them quickly before I go on to the next news. His stats is something, Victor said it here, 41 goals in 41 games. That is ridiculous. That is a crazy stat. That is an absolutely mad stat. Mad. Right, quickly. Let's quickly go on to some other quick news before I obviously get the lines open as well. Daniel says, I've come on board. Fuck it, let's ruin football. Thank you, Daniel. It's good to see you, bro. Fuck the process. Chelsea have literally fucked the process, as always. We do it by winning titles and we do it by signing players. If we've got the money, we just get the deal done. Haaland / Tchouaméni are more old Chelsea. What is cooking this season? Chelsea are, listen, what to be a Chelsea fan. Not only are we the champions of Europe, we're linked to some of the best players in the world and they're interested. Matt Law's already mentioned, I'm going to repeat again, Haaland is interested to come to Chelsea either this or next, providing Chelsea can come to an agreement with Dortmund. He's interested. He is interested. Other news really quickly. Let's just fly through some other news because I know we want to stay on the Haaland news. I know you want to ask me questions about it. I just want to keep you updated. In terms of Lukaku news, the Inter Milan president has announced that there is a potential, they might have to potentially still sell Lukaku. Not just Lukaku, Hakimi's been linked to be sold as well. Hakimi and Martinez are all players that Inter Milan are looking to sell. Due to financial issues, they need to recoup some money. They're in a lot of debt at the moment. So they will have to look to sell these players. Hakimi's been linked to Chelsea. Now, I read something about Hakimi potentially being involved in a part switch deal with Emerson, which was in the... Where did I read that? Let's read. That was in the... football.london. So if you don't go over there into that article, there's talks about him potentially going to, us switching Emerson for him, probably a bit of cash on top. He's rated around 66 million they were looking for him. So quite a bit of money as well. So there's an option for that. In terms of going back to Lukaku, it hasn't died. Even though Lukaku's announced that he's happy at Inter, it looks like Inter might be forced to sell him. Now, if Chelsea can't get Haaland this season, and they really just want to get a striker and they cannot wait till next season, they just can't, then what about Lukaku? What if Inter Milan come to Chelsea and say, look, if you give us the money, you can have him? Would you want Lukaku? I want to ask you the question. There's 50 of you here. Please smash the like button. Let's try and get to 50 likes. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe as well. Please subscribe. Would you rather have a Haaland coming to Chelsea, or would you rather have a Lukaku? They're both on the table now, both willing to play for your football club. Tell me in the chat now. Who would you rather have? Because the Lukaku thing is still there. It's still an option. It's still an option. Inter Milan president has announced it. If Haaland and Lukaku is not possible, would you then take Auba and Tuchel managed him before? There's talks about Auba, but with Aubameyang, for me, it's going to be down to his wages. You know, not so much the transfer fee, because I think you'd be able to work on that. But he takes a good 200 odd K plus a week. Chelsea don't pay that kind of money for players over 30. They just won't do it. They won't. I don't blame them. I don't honestly blame them, you know. So my answer would be no, but depending on what we do with that moving forward. I'd rather have him next year, 72 million release clause. He don't, but won't mind if we get him this season. Now, Daniel, I hear that. But if Erling Haaland goes down to a 72 million release clause, it's not only Chelsea that's going to come for him. Man City will probably come. Man United will probably have Sancho by then and think, actually, you know what, we've got funds. We'll go for Haaland. Real Madrid, you know, PSG might be looking at that point for a new striker. They might have to sell Mbappe, let's just say, by next season. Mbappe might go Real Madrid. Why would Chelsea risk that? This is why I say to you, I've got that smell. I've got that taste in my mouth. That is the same situation as the Havertz signing. We took Havertz and we got Havertz because everyone else couldn't at the time. They couldn't afford to. They just couldn't. And it's the same thing now. The same thing with Haaland is happening now. Man City have been linked to him as well, but Man City will not spend 150 mil. And they probably want, and I think they probably want Kane more so. Lukaku made the open door. Lukaku made that opening a pledge was because he knew very well that Chelsea have another serious target. Wouldn't have turned us down. Lukaku to Chelsea is not a Marina kind of deal. And I hear that, Abdi. I do hear that. And I don't think it's, and I agree, I don't think it's actually a Marina deal. I don't really know if it's an Abramovich deal. I don't even know if Lukaku's the type of player that the Chelsea board want at the club, or even Tuchel. There's 61 of you here right now. Please smash that like button. Let's try and get to 60 likes, people. I'm going to put the link in the chat soon, so bear with me. It will be in there. I want you to get involved, have your say. We have been talking Haaland. We're just talking a bit about Lukaku. I'm going to show you quickly something that you probably all know already as well. We're going to look at stats because there's talks about Lukaku. Talk about Inter Milan having to sell Lukaku. There's also talks about Chelsea being more interested in Haaland than him. So maybe like what Abdi said there, maybe Lukaku saying that is because he knows that maybe Chelsea want Haaland. Maybe the interest is already clear. Maybe Inter Milan have already been told that and sort of gone back to Lukaku with it. And Lukaku thinks he can't go anywhere because Chelsea are not that interested. I don't know. But looking at Lukaku's stats, 44 games in all competitions, 30 goals in all competitions and 10 assists. So is it double digits in both? He scored 24 in Serie A, 5 in the Champions League and 3 in the Coppa Italia. It's not shared with you guys, is it? It's me thinking that it's shared. It does this sometimes. Sorry, guys. Let me try this again. There we go. We're in. We are in. So, 44 games, 30 goals, 10 assists, 7 yellow cards, 24 goals in Serie A, 10 assists in the Serie A as well. In the Champions League, he scored 4 goals with 2 in the Coppa Italia as well. I always tend to look at the second season. I always like having a two-season sort of look at. 51 games, 34 goals in all competitions and 6 assists for Lukaku. So he's scoring good goals in Serie A, and it's working there for him. So would he be a risk coming to Chelsea? Well, the thing is, stats would say that he's what we need. He scores goals. He puts the ball in the back of the net, something that Chelsea want. So I would understand why we would want Lukaku, for example. And then you look at someone like Haaland. Yeah, let's talk about Haaland. Man like Haaland. Man like the Haaland. Man like Haaland. So man like Haaland. 41 games, 41 goals. You heard it, people. 41 games, 41 goals, 27 in the Bundesliga. He's even got double digits in the Champions League, and that's what's impressive for me. He's doing it on the biggest stage. He's doing it on the biggest stage. You know, DFB Pokal as well, he scored 3 goals. DFL Super Cup, 1 goal. Okay, people will say, look at his season before. Let's look at Haaland's season before. So, he's got 40, he's played 40 games. He scored 44 goals in all competitions and 10 assists again. He scored 13 in the Bundesliga. He scored 16. Is that in the Austrian league? That is, isn't it? That's got to be the Austrian league. He scored 16 in the Austrian league, 13 in Bundesliga, 10 in the Champions League again. This guy, man, I'm telling you. Let's have a look at his 3rd season. When did he actually stop scoring so many goals? Like when did the peak start with Erling Haaland? Let's have a look. There you go. 10 games. I mean, he only played 10 games, but he still scored 5 goals. So even within that, he scored in half of his games. Madness, man. I'm telling you, it's an absolute madness. And, you know, the 41 games with 41 goals is huge. It is absolutely huge. And Chelsea cannot look to not be interested in that if he is available. You know, if he's available. Jem, do you think Haaland for 150 million is a good deal for us? I think it's a lot of money. I do. I really do think it is a lot of money. However, he is a generational talent. He will score you goals, which is what we want. And he is a striker for the future. He is someone that we can... When you think of Diego Costa and Didier Drogba, he is someone that comes in and for me becomes of that mould. I think he will do it. I think he could be better in terms of goal scoring. I think he'd be a better goal scorer than both of them coming to Chelsea. That's my honest opinion. Josh CFC says 55 people here, 13 away from 50 likes. Let's smash it. People, come on, let's get to 50 likes. I'm actually going to check it now quickly. We are at 47 likes. Come on, let's try and get to 50 likes, please, people. It would be much appreciated. What about Martinez? He's just 23 and Aguero-esque style. He is, and I like Martinez as well. But is Martinez a goal scorer? Is he a clinical goal scorer? That's my thing. Would he get the job done? Would he get the job done? I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys to come in and have your say. The link is in there now, so make sure you get in. If Haaland goes to Chelsea, Sancho won't go to Man United, is what Undertaker CFC thinks. Sorry about the noise. Got trains next to me. Lukaku is good, but he's not a pressuring striker. 2 more likes away from 50. Yeah. If Haaland scores 25 plus goals in 5 years, he will be worth twice the amount we bought him for. That is true. Would Haaland stay at Chelsea for more than 5 years? Would he do what Eden Hazard on us? Potentially, because he's that young still. He could get to 26. He could get to 26, played at Chelsea for 5 years, won 2, maybe 3 Premier Leagues, a couple of FA Cups, a Champions League. And then he might think, you know what, I've done it here. I'm going to move. Yeah, that could happen. He would still be a legend to me, though. He would still be a legend of our club. Man like Josh is here. Josh, what you saying, bro?
What's up, Jim? How you doing, brother?
Not bad, not bad. How are you feeling about the news that we heard today from Matt Law talking about Erling Haaland being interested coming to Chelsea?
Yeah, it's fantastic news. I think that was like probably the biggest roadblock in the whole Erling Haaland at Chelsea saga, because I think there's no question we'd pay the money for him. The question would be, would he want to come to Chelsea? You know, it's gonna, a guy like Haaland, everything is up to him. Where he wants to go is where he'll go. So this is our one chance before that buyout clause comes available, where we can afford to spend the money. And so I think if you can get a player like Erling Haaland, you have to. You just have to. Lukaku is great, but he was always a backup plan to me. This summer was all about Erling Haaland. If you could afford to get him, if you could get him, convince him to come, that's got to be your guy. I mean, I know there's a lot of questions about, what will happen to Haaland if he comes to the Premier League. I don't think he's that guy that you question like that. When you watch him play, the way he's built, the way he plays, his attitude, the swagger he has, the confidence he plays with, it's very rare. It's very rare. It's not a guy you can just pick up any summer. There's this guy available. When it comes to low blocks, this dude's a bully. He's a bully. You're not going to just set a center back on him and lock him up for a whole game. It's just not the way it happens. And like you said, we create chances. We create a lot of chances even with a low block. So it's a matter of having that guy who can stick his foot in there and put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, that's great. It's great news if he wants to come, because I think that means we'll splash the cash for him. And if that means that Callum has to go the other way, listen, I love Callum. He's a great player, great potential, but
do you worry about his potential? He's a potential fee. You think that's a lot of money? And would you do what a lot of other Chelsea fans are saying that they would prefer to do, which is wait till next year, wait for it to drop down to around 70 odd million, and then go from there? The only reason I say no for you answer is just because I think other European clubs will financially be well equipped to get involved. So for me, it has the same smell as like the Havertz situation.
Yeah,
no one can afford it.
You got to pay it. It's a hefty fee. It's going to be a hefty wage. But for a player like this, these guys don't come to Chelsea that often. So you have to, and then you have to spend the money to get a player like this. You just have to. It's going to be, like I said, you can offset some of that fee with a player, maybe two players, which is a great benefit. And he's going to demand a nice wage. But I'm sorry, for a guy like this, you pay it. You just do. I mean, especially for a team like Chelsea, that could really set us up for the next 5 years to win some major trophies. I think you just have to make the move. If it's available, if it's on, and he wants to come, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, I hear that. Winter Surfer. Obviously, Matt Law's come out with the news today that Erling Haaland is of interest. He's interested in going to Chelsea, whether it be this year or next. He said he'd pretty much leave it to Chelsea and Dortmund to sort out, but he would be up for it. Yeah. I mean, there's also news about Lukaku. The president come out and said we could potentially have to look to get rid of him as well. What do you do if you're Chelsea?
I agree. You don't pass up on Haaland. I hate using this term because I think it's used too much, but he is genuinely a generational talent. You do not pass up on him, and it's really bugging me. I keep saying it. Some Chelsea fans, I don't know when they become part-time accountants, but it's not your money. Why do you care how much we spend? You all cry about being a big club. This is what big clubs do. They spend big amounts of money. Okay. Yep. So none of this waiting around a year, because it'll be cheaper. Do it now. 150. I don't care the agent's fees. We're talking about an owner who paid £95 million for a painting. Do you know what I mean? It's like and builds and every other year builds a $400 million super yacht with submarines attached to it. Do you really think 150 million is going to bother him? He probably earned it just this week on interest on companies he's in or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just stop moaning. Stop worrying about the fee. It's not your money. You're not paying it. He's not asking us for a loan. We're not. It's not a payday loan for 150 million pounds. Do it. You do it. You do it now. I believe Chelsea are doing this. Chelsea are only doing this because they've got an inkling. They've been told he wants to come here, or something like that, or else they wouldn't be doing all this. I believe the stories we're getting now are probably even like days old, or maybe even like a week old, or something like that. We're just being fed them. We're just being fed them, and just do it. Just do it. Don't worry, Chelsea fans. It's not your money. They're not going to raise their season tickets. They haven't done it for many years. Do you know what I mean? Just do it, and let's win the Premier League again. Let's retain the European Cup again. This guy will bang in goals. If we had him against City in the Champions League, we would have won like 3 or 4-0. We would have won it 3 or 4-0, and we would have we would have won other games as well. All our boys would be up there. All our guys would be up there for assists for the year. Do you know what I mean? because he'd be banging in all types of goals. You've seen him in the German Cup final. I know it might mean much, but look at the way he bodied Upamecano. Upamecano's a physical defender. Yeah. This guy ran through him like he wasn't there. He can make goals. Yeah, he can make goals. He can score goals. He can score all types of goals.
He done it to Diaz as well, Winter.
Yeah, he bodied the city guys.
He bodied Diaz as well. So don't worry about it. 150 million, 170 million. Woo! That's what big clubs do. Stop saying.
And Chelsea are a big club.
Exactly. So
we're one of the only clubs. We're one of the only clubs that can afford him. Us, Man City and PSG. Just ride the wave. Don't
just ride it. You want to be a big club?
Enjoy it.
You pay big transfer fees and you pay big wages. This is what we do. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the ride if it comes. Enjoy the goals and enjoy the trophies. Honestly, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
No question.
Fatter, what you saying? Haaland, Lukaku. Who would you want to play with your client next season?
I can care less who I want to play with my client, but I think you have to look at from Haaland. Yeah, the problem is that we had to, in their eyes, like, why would Dortmund want to risk losing 60-70 million pounds?
Exactly.
If we're interested this summer anyway, and if he drops a transfer request, literally he's got the best agent, Raiola, to force him out of the club, and I just don't get why they wouldn't entertain selling him. And I'm pretty sure that you can change the release clause if he's given a new contract. That way, Dortmund will not be pressured to sell in the summer, and that's the only biggest worry about this deal. So,
look, if you're Dortmund and you're selling Sancho and you're and Chelsea. You said, look, if anyone wants Haaland, we don't really want to sell him, but if you give us 150 and he's happy with the wage structure that you're giving him, then we'll give it to him. They're not going to turn it away when they know that they're going to lose nearly 70-odd million next season. It's impossible. You're gonna. It doesn't matter what team you are. You're going to open your ears to that. You know what I mean? That is business. It's business. That's pure business. Do you know what I mean? So,
and you're thinking that they could stand to make well over 200 million this summer by selling Haaland and Sancho. And if we do include a player like Callum in that deal, that fits perfect for them, because if they sell Sancho, they have Callum, another young. I mean, let's be honest, Dortmund love young players. So if you give them another young winger like Callum to fill Sancho's position, I think that could be really attractive to them. And like Fader said, why would they risk losing 70 million just to have somebody trigger his clause? Yeah, no sense at all.
It don't. We have got Hassan here as well. Hassan, what you saying about it, bro?
Well, before I start with Haaland, I'm just going to say this quickly, right, about the whole money thing. Before Chelsea became an international club and with a massive fan base, Roma was pumping money anyway. So what difference is there? Like, literally, I know I could go on this topic, but the Super League, right? The whole point of when Roman joined the Super League, it wasn't because of the money. It's because if that Super League would have made a Champions League look like a FA Cup, Roman wanted it just because he wanted to have a European dominance. He wants his club to be in the top European league.
Yeah.
Like, we could go 10 years without fans, Roman would still be pumping money. He didn't care. That's the reason why he pumped it out. He doesn't need the money. And with the whole Haaland situation, 150 million, you can't, like, why would they reject it?
They wouldn't.
Haaland came out and said, I would still be interested in Chelsea, whether it be this year or next year. He literally said, so what's the point you waiting another year? Is Chelsea going to just buy him for half the price?
It's not even just that, Hassan. You're allowing other big European clubs to have a sniff of this, because Man City would look at 70 mil. Man United, if they had Sancho this season, will have money next season, would look at 70 mil for Haaland. You know, you look at the Real Madrids and the PSGs. If they in PSG sell Mbappe, they're going to have money to spend. They're going to want to have a striker. They could look at Haaland. Like you're allowing other people to get.
Even if there was a bidding war, no one would go up to 150 anyway. Like the max I would see, like if it was a bidding war, would probably go to 100. Even then, they still wouldn't make as much money as we are offering now.
Plus,
Yeah.
they got the risk of. But listen, as much as Bayern Munich may not say it, they got the risk of Bayern Munich nabbing
Yeah,
him next
exactly.
year. And
They
why
want
would
to
they
make a
want
Lewandowski.
another player going to Bayern Munich win leagues anyway? But and they're basically just them becoming Bayern Munich speeder team if they're not already. So and also, like they will say, oh, we don't want to sell, but if you put 150 million pounds down, it's gonna sway it's gonna make anyone look, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense not to do it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. And
Go
you
on,
know what the funny thing was? I
Yeah.
I just literally did a massive scout report on Haaland way before this stream. So like this whole myth about him being in terms of because I've seen him against teams way before the stream against like teams that are defensive, and he just has that vision and that run like a Timo Werner. He just has that Timo Werner run and vision where he
Yeah.
creates himself that space. He also does them like even before Borussia Dortmund when he was at Salzburg Red Bull when he was
Yeah.
in that team.
Yeah.
He was
The one
doing dummy runs as well. He was doing runs like Timo Werner. He's creating space,
Also,
causing fake runs.
I
He's also
was going to say another problem that we're going to have to face is that Haaland might see us as a stepping stone for his destiny at Real Madrid. So
Real Madrid could buy.
Listen, look, we could buy Haaland, and he could stay at Chelsea for 4 or 5 years, like I said, win a couple of trophies, maybe a Champions League, a Premier League,
yeah,
and then do a Hazard and think, I'm ready. I'm 26, 27. I'm near my prime now. I've served Chelsea well enough. I want to go and play Real Madrid. If he did that,
Mhm.
yeah, and he'd won everything that he'd won, and I don't know, he was top goal scorer in a couple of seasons. For me, he would be a Chelsea legend, and I would allow him to go because that's what we. I'm not saying that's what we do, but you can't expect every great, especially a player of his caliber, to just foresee his career and finish it at Chelsea.
Mhm.
Especially
Yeah,
as young as he is.
I can
As
actually
young
give
as
you
he
a
is.
few examples
Yeah.
of top players going to Madrid. Kaká, Ronaldo Nazario, Thierry Henry, all of them. Like they've all gone to Real Madrid and Barcelona because they're Real Madrid and Barcelona. They have that
Yeah.
attractiveness.
But even
It's
if
just inevitable.
Hassan, even if we sign him, you could like say give him a 6-year contract, and then in the fourth year, you could like say, do you want to sign a new contract? And he might have scored by then the fourth year like over 100 goals for us
Yeah.
and won loads of trophies. It's like, okay, well, you don't want to sign, then we can sell him after 4 years, and it'll be more money than we paid for him.
No
We
question.
don't-
And we can do add-ons.
Exactly. So
we would make it back anyway. If he won us the
Exactly.
league and he scored 25 plus goals a season, that 150 mil would be like peanut money at that point. Do you know what I mean? So
it's
Wayne.
34 minutes. If it's 5, if it's 150, it's like 34 million pounds a year. To me, that's
Exactly.
worth it. That is
Exactly.
perfect. It's
a no-brainer, Winter Surfer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's business sense. It's just
And you got to
And
think of
for
another.
the way I was going to say in terms of finance, the way Chelsea's going in terms of the upward trajectory, in 4 or 5 years' time, will be established club like Liverpool and United in terms of self-sufficient money. Because more and more, because if we're winning Champions League, we're winning trophies, more people are gonna be inspired.
in
to be
5
Chelsea
years'
fans.
time. In 5 years' time, Amazon will probably be big into this. Netflix will be big into this. Some other
Disney as
streaming
well.
companies.
For all we know,
Disney,
Disney could be
Apple, they'll pump so many millions and billions into this that it'd just be ridiculous. The 150 will become possibly the normal transfer.
And
Do you know what I mean?
and you guys remember 80 million for Ronaldo at
Yeah.
that time was what equivalent to like 160 million. High
Exactly.
risk, high reward.
Exactly.
That is
Fernando
that is
Torres
very
50
true.
million. If that was
And-
today's market, if Fernando Torres would have been 100, what difference does it make?
Doesn't.
And it's still not what PSG paid for Neymar. I mean, PSG
No,
paid.
yeah.
I
Could
mean,
I also
PSG
say-
paid an insane, like what, 200 for Neymar or
200
something
million,
crazy.
about just under 200.
Can I
or
also
something.
say Mbappe went for 130 at a young age, 132 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
that.
High risk.
I do hear that. We've got 70 of you here still. Please smash that like button. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe as well. We massively appreciate the support on this channel as well. Wayne, what you saying, bro? How you feeling about this Haaland news, mate?
Well, I know for a fact it's happening, and
Agent Wayne.
How?
I I know someone that works for Marina, so I know it's in the deal working now.
Wow.
And the
Did
only
he say
issue
to you
is the
along?
devil
Did he
himself.
say
So I know
How-
we were.
How close? How are we? How I'm say close, but is it sort of 50, 60, 70% sort of there, or is there still a long way to go with it in terms of
when
persuasion?
when Tuchel signed his deal contract, his target was in capital letters Haaland on top. He wanted them. If he signed a new contract, that's the one he wanted this summer. And Abramovich has really said, as we know, that his number one target was Haaland. And they said, all out, going, all out, let's go for it.
So you
That's
guys
what they're
agree?
trying to do.
Okay.
But
No
all
echo?
I'm gonna say is, and I'm not repeating it for Monster because I know he's saying, but I pray for the rivals because we are going to be. We're not just European champions. We're going to be world champions. We're going to be the best team in the world, and everyone are going to be looking up to us. That's where we're going to be.
Yeah, there you go. And for you, would it be Haaland over Lukaku, no brainer, or would you?
It's a bloody no-brainer. It's like Andrew said, right? One, yeah, it's peanuts. It's just peanuts to Abramovich. He'd be like, yeah, okay, I got a little bit of loose change. There you go. That's enough for it. So it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, I've got some pocket money for Chelsea. Here we go.
Can I add to your point? I was gonna say you do realize Abramovich has got 2 billion worth of yachts in his backyard.
Exactly. But it's
2 billion worth.
so it's like, yeah, fine. That's like it's no brainer. But not only
Submarines
that,
attached.
right? And obviously, I don't know how everyone's long they've been supporting Chelsea, but I've been supporting Chelsea since the 1995,
Yep. Same.
and I know I've
Got some
never
bad
been in a
feedback.
position.
Someone got bad feedback here.
Someone's got bad feedback. There we go. Go on.
I've never been in this place where we could sign someone on the level of Haaland.
Yeah.
I've never thought we ever get to this place where we'd be competing with Real Madrid and that with players in this caliber. So it's a no-brainer.
Someone's got to come out and come back in because I've got such bad feedback. I can't hear. I can hear him repeating it twice. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but no, I agree with you, Wayne. 100%, man. It is an absolute no-brainer, and there's a lot of Chelsea fans that are worried about this money. Why are we spending so much on him? It doesn't make sense. Are you going to have Raiola coming across as well? We're going to have to deal with him. Blah 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 blah. But I'll tell you what. The difference is we've got Marina. And that girl is good. Trust me, she will deal with it.
All I'm going to say, right, if she could financially, like, in terms of bully away Bayern Munich,
To me, that's such like a dead club mentality too. I hate that mentality. Like, why would we spend this? Why would we?
Yeah.
You think Barcelona and Real Madrid in their heyday cared 1 ounce of why would we spend this? Why would we spend? No, we spend this because we're Chelsea and we can spend this, and we're champions of Europe and we will spend this, not because
we are the champions. That's what we are.
question.
I just wanted to say a few things, right? People envy us because our club can spend. They want to be in our position to spend. So why, when we, like, let's be real, right? So, some of you guys that are older than me know Chelsea were rock bottom. We were at that time now where we could actually get world-class players. If you said like 20, 30 years ago, Chelsea were going to be European champions and elite, they'd all laugh at you. We have a chance now. Take the privilege while we can, because we don't know. Like, we don't know if we're going to be a spending club the next 20 years, 30 years down the line. Make history now. Buy it now.
We need to. And it's the thing. There was one guy in the chat earlier, and he said, "Why? I don't understand why we need to go and buy these big name strikers. Why can't we just look closer to home?" And the answer to that is Chelsea wanna win things now. All we need is a clinical striker to make us. I think we would dominate world football. I really do. I think you bring in someone like Haaland, the players that they've currently got, and the manager that we've got in Tuchel. I think we can dominate world football, and that's not. And I don't think that's not a bad, an outrageous thing to say when you think about it. I really think we can be that good.
Can I say something, right? Haaland is very similar in terms of the way I've looked at. He's similar to Zlatan. He's one of them that big players, big bully. And have you noticed that all of our Chelsea strikers have done well? Diego Costa, Drogba, they've both been bullies. They've both been a physical presence in air, and they both can play back to goal. We
Yeah.
don't need a striker that you need to play through
fucking-
ball. We need an all-round striker that can bully. Like, look at Haaland. If someone can catch up to his pace, he pushes him. He shoulder barges him to the floor. And this myth about him being his hold-up play being weak is because it's not a simple 5-yard pass. People play long balls to Haaland. He jumps up in there. He has to do something fancy to hold on to the ball. I feel like his hold-up play is him being weak in hold-up play is a bit weak. They just look at his stats and say, "Oh, his hold-up play is like for all we know, 25% through balls. For all we know, you could be doing a Fabregas type of ball. That's why your through balls or your long balls are 25%. And people need to stop looking at stats and saying and not apply context to it.
I mean, he had 12. He had 12 assists too, so it's not like he can't pass the ball.
His hold-up play is a myth. It's because the way Dortmund play, they ping long balls to him, they play towards him, and he's bullies and defenders out of the way.
Yeah, I hear that. I do hear that. We've got Abs here as well. Abs, news of Erling Haaland. Matt Law releases today saying that he's interested either this season or next coming to our football club. How are you feeling about it?
We've got Haaland. Erling Haaland. I just don't think you understand. He scores with heads and toes. He's better than Del Piero. We've got Erling Haaland. That's what I reckon.
That's better than
Ultimate
the
gunman.
Arsenal chant.
Erling
It is
Haaland is the
actually.
ultimate gunman. He is by far. You know what? We all love Drogba here, but to be honest, Erling Haaland, if he comes in, would be the best finisher we've had at the club since Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank himself was a gunman.
Jimmy Floyd. Let me know.
Oh no! Honestly, yeah. If you said he was gonna be better than Drogba, then he'd have to do a lot to prove that. Because
No, I'm not
Drogba
saying
could do
Erling
everything.
Haaland. I'm saying pure finishing as a finisher.
finishing, yeah.
All-round play, Drogba's better. But if you deep it, just on pure finishing alone as a all-out number 9, Haaland's a bit better. And the only person who I've seen play Chelsea who's as good a finisher as him is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And for those of you old enough, everyone knows that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was a straight gunman. That man stopped.
Oh yeah, left, right, headers, everything. I remember against Tottenham, right? He scored with his head.
Perfect
He scored with his left foot. Do you remember? He whipped it from about 28 yards out of top corner and scored with his right foot.
Wait. Didn't even clock you were in there. Yes, he did.
You know I'm here.
Agent.
I only
Haaland.
clocked Gabby, my
You
bad.
know that.
Yeah, there's 120 of you here. Please smash the like button. Let's try and get to 100 likes, please, people. Appreciate it massively on GNA TV. We've got Dan with us as well. Dan, what you saying, broski?
Doing good. Like I said in the chat, right? I'm on board now. I'm fully on
Yes.
board.
Yes.
Fully on board, man.
Got Dan on board.
What made me on board? I feel like this news coming out about him willing to come to Chelsea, be it this year and next year, is more of his agent letting them know that, it's not, you're not going to get a bidding war next year if you hold on to him and wait for him. Like if he goes to the same club next year for 60 million, right? Why not sell him now?
Yeah.
Why not sell him now and get some money? I mean, the situation in compared to Jadon Sancho is a little bit different because he does have that release clause, and he's not going to sign a brand new contract. That's not going to happen because if he does that, it's highly unlikely he's going to leave for 60 million coming next year. So this seems like Havertz again, man. This feels like Havertz again, where a certain player, he's interested in him and he do anything he has to actually get him. So,
So from what I've heard, I was going to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Go on, Ass.
I was going to say, from what I've heard recently from some reports, right, apparently we're going to start off the bid at 120 and see how it goes, and I think it's most likely going to rise up to 150 anyway, so I just can't see why
Is there a chance that we could potentially do a player plus cash Like,
Yeah,
just
give him
seeing
Tammy
talent
and-
going
as
Give
well.
him
There's a
Tammy
one.
and
There's,
Zuma and we'll be good.
yeah, no. I feel like what I said
Get out of
before.
here, bro. Don't say
I feel like what I've said before. I feel like if we offered Tabby plus 110 or 100 million, something like around 110, 120,
Yeah.
that could possibly, it could
Yeah.
possibly work in my favor.
I mean, Jason, bro, Haaland or Daka? That's what I'm going to say to you, man. Like, who you going for out of the two? Let's be serious. Like, a guy
That's what Dortmund's going to replace Haaland with is Daka.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be
I
fair,
don't
Lewis,
get the constant talk about Daka. Like, I get he's a prospect and everything, but this guy ain't even in the top 5 leagues, and we're trying to say let's bring him into the Premier League or bang
FIFA.
25
He's a
season.
FIFA player.
Yeah.
He's got FIFA stats.
I
Lewis,
don't get the constant chat about him. Like, let him go to a top 5 league and actually prove himself, other than
You cutting
fucking
out, or is it me?
Austrian league. Am I
Let
crying
him
out?
do a Haaland. Let him do a Haaland. Just
Can you
let
hear
him
it?
join.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, Jem,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him. He
Alright,
literally
cool.
said, no, Jem, he's basically saying about Daka, let him join into a top 5 league and prove himself. And I said to him, like Haaland.
I'm
Tell you what
saying
we could do.
Haaland's a bit unproven because I haven't seen him in the Premier League against low blocks. So we're talking about Daka, who we haven't even seen in a top 5 league yet.
So, Lewis, from what I've scouted and what I've done the research on him, his positioning is basically like Werner's. Like, he knows how to get himself into positions. He knows how to, like, get in behind defenders. It's all about whether we supply it or not, and how many chances. If you could
Okay,
take,
so
like,
it's another getting behind merchant who's going to struggle against low blocks.
he's all round. He's all round. He offers much more than Werner. He's more physical, play back to goal, and he can head.
Who,
Werner
Daka?
can't. No. I'm talking about Haaland.
Oh no,
About
Haaland.
Yeah,
I've already said my only worry about Haaland is how does he adapt in his first season.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've got no questions about where this guy's going. He's going straight to the top. My
What
only
do
thing
you
is
do with
150 million. Will he win us the league in his first season? I'm not sure. Will we get given patience? I'm not sure. That's it. Other than that, if Haaland comes Chelsea, I'll back the player. I'm all for it. But I'm still going to say my number 1 choice is Lukaku.
I'll tell you what we do with Haaland. Right, guys, I'll tell you what we do with Haaland. We do a swap deal with Werner. Right?
Absolutely not.
Nope. I didn't know Faster was here. Yes, bro.
Sorry, guys. My internet decided to do one. I'm at my missus's house and their internet's fucking shit, so I won't be here again. Listen, Lewis, my question to you. Obviously, Matt Law has announced that Haaland's interested in coming to Chelsea either this season or next. There's talks about Lukaku, the president of Inter Milan, saying that Lukaku might have to be sold as well. What'd you do?
Did he?
Yeah.
Interesting. Like, my number 1 aim is still Romelu Lukaku. I've already said that, and I still stand by it. If Haaland comes, I'll back him, but we need experience. And we need someone who's going to hit the ground running, and I'm still not sure Haaland's that player. Haaland's patience. You give him a season, and then you have Erling Haaland. And I don't mind doing that either, but I don't know if that's what we need right now. That's been my entire thing with the whole situation. That's why I would go Lukaku first, if the option is there, because I think he takes us to the title quicker. Erling Haaland, I don't mind though. Like, our chance creation's improved this season, so I'm not really as worried about us feeding him chances as I was at the start of the season. But same way, 150 million is a lot. That's a lot of money.
No. But what I was going to say, Lewis, I've looked into the Lukaku situation. The only way we could get Lukaku is 2 circumstances. One, the Hakimi 80 million euro deal collapses. And 2, it would cost the same amount of money because don't United get like a 40 million cut out of the deal, so they're going to charge us about 120 anyway or something like that. They're going to charge us at least 100 or 110.
Yeah. There's they still owe Man United.
So, Lewis, I've actually done research onto this. That's what I'm saying. We might just go big on Haaland.
Hold out for 120 million.
If he's going to cost 120 million and Haaland's going to cost 150 million. Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from.
And Lewis, and don't forget, that's also if Hakimi deal collapses and they need the money. because no one else would get that sort of money for any other player. They won't be able to get 80 million euro from any other, unless
No.
it's Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, they went 60 or 80
Where,
for that.
where did you see the thing about the Inter Milan owner saying they might?
If you go on Google and write in, it was on the Metro, I think it was. Let me have a look. I just see it. I had it
Talking
up.
about the metro and the train goes past.
Honestly, this is annoying. Every 10 minutes. Daily Express. President hints club may have to sell Lukaku as a Chelsea striker. Chelsea striker, sorry. It says there.
Here we go. Yeah. So
there's 135 of you here. Please smash that like button. Let's try and get to 100 likes. If you're new to GNA TV as well, please subscribe to the channel.
Like I said, I don't think we should go for him because he'd cost almost similar amounts of money because of the United clause which they stupidly signed.
Yeah.
United would get like 40 million off it.
That could also be Inter being a little nervous now that we've kind of shifted our gears to Haaland, and it's like, okay, well, actually, you know what? We may sell him. We may actually sell Lukaku just to try to bait us back in here.
I feel like it would work both ways because if the Hakimi deal, they're gonna pray that the Hakimi deal goes through because they need the 80 million euros, like because they're in a financial situation. And if that's gone, then they are screwed. Because if we go for Haaland, let's say we sign Haaland, where they're gonna get the 80 million from?
Hey.
So they don't even want to spend 20 for Emerson. So it's like they're definitely in a huge financial issue right now.
Well, that's calm. I can't stand Inter. Everyone knows I'm an AC guy. I'm AC Milan for it. You know, my bro.
AC guy, let's go. Come on.
What a shit player.
No, AC Milan now.
Let's not do this Haaland slander. Come on, man. I know you want the
No, he's talking about Kessie.
AC Milan, you know.
Oh no! Don't go there, Greenwood, Haaland.
Greenwood is cold. Let's just be honest. Greenwood is cold, but he's not Erling Haaland. He ain't nothing like him.
Greenwood's just got good finishing. That's what he's got, man.
Fucking joking. What I'm saying is, if you man get Haaland in it, what I'm saying, like, I hear where Lewis is coming from now about Lukaku. Because I think Lukaku for me is top 3 strikers in the world. That's what I'm saying in it. Like, I think a lot of people have counted him out. Obviously, since his early seasons, that in turn his late season in Man United. I think for me that's what's kind of like drawn people away from him. But I honestly think he's still up there, and I think he deserves that respect. So I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. I just think Haaland offers you pretty much the same, just for a lot longer, and that's why I think I can understand you want Haaland more than Lukaku. But for me, Lukaku is still a top draw, still a top quality attacker. Same with Haaland, and man, like I said, I just think Haaland offers you exactly the same, just for a few more years.
Afan, just to answer that question, that Bun Lukaku. Now, Roman's actually going for both. He's just talking to. When it comes to big deals, Roman has a massive say, yes or no. So he's basically talking to both Lukaku's representatives and Inter, and he's also talking to Haaland's representatives. So he's just trying out which ones and who would say yes. That's what he's doing right now.
Reece James's lawyer. What do you want to say, bro?
Reece James's lawyer.
I'm Reece James's lawyer, bro. But also, man have to come out and defend Lil Dirk Reece James at right wing back. You see everyone dissing him this season, saying he's all like, you know, and all that good. Trust me, once Foden comes in, once we have a gunman up top, someone who's going to finish, you will see that Reece James is the best right back in the league. If he's not flipping... Not flipping that scarce fraud, the flipping F-Tech, Nathaniel Klein up there, or even, what's his name, MLS Glenn Johnson, Trent. Reece James, Lil Dirk, London's finest, the best right back in the Prem, the best right back in the world. I said it. He's going to get flipping 15 assists, watch. Minimum.
Gem.
Yeah.
Can we have a conversation about the right centre back position, please?
We will. No, not this one. Not today. Yeah, Jules. I was thinking about Jules Condé actually. Yeah, we got him right centre back.
Oh yeah, we do need to have a rematch on that debate though.
We will. We'll have a look. I will do a Christensen debate with Lewis here again, and we'll talk about it properly after. All right. But listen, who plays next to Haaland for yous anyway? Who would you have play next to Erling Haaland in this lineup?
Have a conversation. You know what I mean? Money makes on the right. It's easy money, and then you have Havertz.
Simple.
Yeah.
What?
We're not. Listen. You see where Havertz played for Germany? He plays off the right, so you can put
who you saying? Havertz.
Havertz. You put Havertz off the right as he plays for Germany, and you put money miss. Easy money. What are you doing?
There you go. What's that look?
Put our best players up.
That's a title right there.
Yep.
Players.
Change right centre back, and there's the title.
All right,
And
let's
the
change the right centre back to this guy.
Christensen, I'm with that.
There we go.
Right,
it's not really without Jem, just like that, we're in a top four. I can't be asked with you, man.
He's not coming.
What about Koundé?
No. I'd rather have Varane.
Has anyone seen my midfield yet? Has anyone seen my midfield? Kante and
Yeah, get him out of there. Who is that guy?
Who do you want in there? Come on in, tell me. Who do you want in that position?
Jorginho.
Pete, don't say him. Pete, don't say Declan Rice.
Respect Jorginho, man. Put him in the
team.
Yeah, put Jorginho in there.
Take off Kante and put
that 20-year-old kid from
put the Brazilian Pirlo in there with immediate effect.
Exactly, man.
Let me get him in because he deserves it, man. He's our best.
No, bun him.
Not the Scottish Pirlo, the Brazilian Pirlo.
The Brazilian Pirlo. All right, Brazilian Pirlo.
You're going to keep on going.
Don't you even. No, I see what you're typing. Don't you dare. No. Get rid of it. No. I don't want to see this guy. No. Pirlo never played right wing. No.
Oh my god.
Get rid. I already have PTSD of his short corners. Get rid.
All right, let's get Kovacic or Jorginho? Come on, let's do a vote. Jorginho or Kovacic?
The register.
See, you can't even spell Jorginho, man. What's wrong
with
you?
It's Jorginho.
I can't actually spell Christensen or Jorginho. It's funny, isn't it? How every player. I can't spell them two.
I would argue
Jem, are we going to do United's next? Are we going to do United's midfield next season with Winks and Nick Fred in there?
All right, let's take Koundé out. Let's put fucking Krusty in. Is it come up, Krusty?
Sorry, we don't know.
But even the FIFA thing can't find him. He's that bad. Look, there's loads of Christensens. You want this one? Christensen.
They're all false.
What about Anderson?
Danish Maldini settings. Let's go.
Yeah, try searching penitentiary.
No, because I'll just have his prisoners.
Oh, you man are disgrace.
You guys are happy.
Lewis, have you made a special one for Aguero yet?
No, I had to make a fucking Bosnia one a few days ago because they got packed in there too.
Yeah, you need to make Aguero one 3-time offender.
What happens if this happens? If
Callum Hudson dies.
Hakimi. I just like the thing is, can I just say Hakimi's not better than James? Why?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because this is what I'll do. I'll take out Krusty and I'll put Reece James in there. There we go.
Oh, listen.
Oh,
Jem,
what
this is not division rivals.
What are we doing,
This is not division rivals, man.
You can play Hakimi right wing back, and you can play Reece James as a right centre back.
No, we'll have Reece James right wing back, Christensen centre back, and Hakimi can warm bench or go to another club.
What if Hakimi comes to Chelsea? What if Chelsea buy Hakimi? How does he get in? Because he's the
They
best
won't spend that much money.
If Hakimi comes in, then James has a really tough spot ahead of him trying to beat Hakimi into right wing back.
School the squad.
Because my guy did not come on unannounced in a Champions League final and show Ruben Diaz levels just to warm bench next.
It's having a squad. It's called rotation.
Hazard.
You know what I mean?
Hakimi can have the Carabao Cup third round games and shit. Then.
Reece James can play right centre back instead of Christensen.
Yeah, we can dash him in there for the Champions League ones as well, the group stage games.
Yeah.
Smart game, man. We got to loan the guy
okay.
out. Why are we bringing him back?
Because he's good enough. He's better than Christensen. He's better than all of these lot, man. Trust me. This guy is the guy.
Hazard.
We got to start showing trust in. We got to start showing trust in our academy, man. We've got so many talented players.
And trust our academy's oldest and greatest export, the Danish Maldini.
There we go.
No.
We might as well just put Bakayoko in the midfield.
Oh no!
Put Bakayoko, man. Put my guy Bakayoko in there, man.
I mean, might as well put a bag of sand in there instead of Bakayoko.
Take out the one. Put Bakayoko.
How's that look? What about if what about if Mason Mount was dropped and we put Werner? Yeah.
No.
Wait, shut up.
Why couldn't that work? Mount, Havertz, Werner, Haaland.
Oh, look at that. That is a saucy front three.
Well, no, wait. Once Haaland improves his link-up play, that would work brilliantly, in my opinion. But you need Haaland to get there technically first.
Haaland and Havertz will have to carry Werner the whole time.
It doesn't not work.
Something, yeah. No.
Okay.
So you're saying Mount won't play?
You know what, guys? We don't want to set first 11. That's why we got a squad.
Oh no! Don't do
rotation. Yeah. If you can predict the team's first 11, that means their squad is crap. Yeah. We have loads more games this season, man. You know, so Mount won't play. Mount won't play all the games. Werner won't play all the games.
I think we have like 70 plus games this season coming up.
Yeah,
I hear that too. But then why are we picking a starting 11 then?
We're not. We're just
picking your main players. Especially for this bum. Hey, Pater, what are you thinking? Get Werner the fuck out of there, man. Come on. Get him out of there. Are you crazy?
You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace.
All right,
you ambulance chaser.
Is it? Is it Havertz? Haaland? No. All right.
What's in the day?
Yeah, it's better than Werner.
Come on, money.
Jim, I think you're forgetting the only Chelsea international to raise an international cup recently on the left wing.
Oh yeah, Captain America.
Come on, the right.
I forgot we had him.
Now that looks saucy. Havertz, Pulisic, and Haaland. Woo! What are you saying? What are you saying? And then we can put Mason Mount in here.
Oh,
no. Put him there. We can throw Mason Mount in there. And then we can get rid of him as well. And then we can put James in. Aspie there. Aspie's going to be there. Aspie. And then we put Reece James there.
Good.
That's the perfect team, isn't it?
Perfect.
Maybe.
So only one new signing in the team, and that's Haaland.
Yeah, that's all we need, bruv. That is all Chelsea need. Chelsea need a goal scorer.
And you need to get rid of shit as well.
I'm not doubting that. I'm just thinking, I don't see it being him. I just see this be one more. But
Cho Haaland. So El Chapo's saying Cho Haaland Kai.
I'd settle for that. I'd settle for that if I was a Chelsea fan, but I'm not. So.
Werner in.
Get rid of Haaland and bring Mishi in.
Oh
no!
I'm get rid of Haaland.
Real guy. That's right.
I like it. Once.
It could be this guy. It could potentially be like that.
Lukaku.
Yeah, when's that? Who kept calling him Lukaku or that? Who saw it?
Lukaku.
Oh, Klaas.
No, it was Marshall, I think.
No, it was Klaas.
No, it was class ref. It was class ref.
Is it class ref?
Yeah,
Was it class ref that called him Lukaku? Lukaku.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he said Lukaku. That's something like that. He said something like that.
No, he said Lukaku was his first time on stream.
Lukaku.
He kept saying it, and I was like, Monster was like, who the hell is that?
Lukaku. You gotta laugh. Oh, that was only a little bit of fun there. Thought we'd have a little muck around. Obviously, look, this if it's true what Wayne says, and obviously it looks like Haaland's interested as well. There is a chance that Chelsea could get this young boy, this young generational boy, at their football club, along with the Pulisic's, the Mounts, the Werners, the Havertz. I mean, as a Man United fan, are you shitting your pants yet, or what are you saying?
Not really. We have Greenwood, so I'm happy with that.
You also have Harry Winks. You have Harry Winks.
Listen. What I'm saying is, no. And listen. In all fairness, for me, Haaland. 1 second. For me, Haaland deserves to be more highlighted than most players, and we can all agree on that because he's so talented. But all I'm saying is, I'm not comparing Greenwood to Haaland at all. I'm just saying we can all have our own player. We can all have our own player. It doesn't always need to be a comparison. I'm not even scared. Like, you man get him. Whoever gets him thoroughly deserves him. They would have had to put in some effort to get a top player like that. So whoever gets him deserves him. And if Chelsea are that team, then fair enough, and they deserve him. So that's fine. I'm not shitting my pants about it though. I would because you know it's not like every ball is gonna go to Haaland. Who knows? It could easily bend over the left to that disgrace to football Werner, and miss. So that is what I'm saying.
European
it's
champion.
It's gonna go to that number 9.
And to be honest, that's the reason why we're European champions, is because we don't really have a standout player in attack.
Yeah. Fair enough.
We have difficult.
Do you still think we need to get a midfielder as well, or do you think it's just striker and we can sort of suck up the midfield situation? But because let's be serious, Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho is just, I don't think that's enough for a full season.
Chouameni, that's what I think. Chouameni, that's it.
Have you spoken to the Euro expert about Chouameni though? I would like to know the inside of it.
Kante is a defensive box to box who can do a really good job in a pivot, and when he plays by himself, it's not that he's bad. I don't believe people who say when they say that he's bad. I don't think he's that bad when he's by himself. I just think he can do a job there. But however, I think for your midfield to be complete and solidified completely, you need a DM, because what I've seen recently is a lot of defensive box to boxes being framed out as if they're like DMs when they're not. And that causes problems and inconsistency in the midfield. So I think if you get a DM, you put him next to Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho, etc., then I think you man are blessed and your midfield solidified. And then if that still doesn't work, then there are bigger problems at the club.
Mm-hmm.
That is true, Durev. Werner is a Champions League champion. Zlatan is not. That's
exactly.
He's the kid who held the hand of the guys. He had no major part in it.
Yeah, but as it feel that Kepa's got a Champions League over all of your players in your
What
team?
does that
What
Even Alonso got a Champions League medal, man.
Spain's real number 1.
Kepa held the hand of the big boys, and that's it. He was just a part. He was just there, fam. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's still a trophy on his record. It's still a trophy on his record. But at the same time, you know, there are like only a few players in the Chelsea team that thoroughly deserve more respect than the rest, and especially your number 1 in goal, Mendy, man. What a god! I rate that guy so highly, man.
Him, Rudiger, Mount, etc. Man.
For me, he's been player of the season.
Bro, Mendy is just. I rated him before he won the Champions League. I said when he came in,
he's top class.
You know, I think, yeah. Thank you. You did, yeah. See, I did say he was top class, and I said when people say he's an average goalkeeper, I just don't know how you can say that. It's only been a few games. And I remember Jem said about when we drew 0-0 in our game, that Kepa wouldn't have saved that shot. I'm telling you now, it wouldn't have just been Kepa. Most keepers wouldn't have saved that shot. It's just that Mendy is just a unique, structured and underrated goalkeeper. And I said to people who were calling him average when he came into Chelsea that you needed to have watched him before And my dad showed me clips and many games of him before he joined Chelsea. My dad's a Chelsea fan, and he showed me. And I said, Mendy, he's a good goalkeeper. And it's a shame what happened to him before he joined Chelsea, and he's just completely turned his career around. And that's what top quality players do. They change their careers around.
I do hear that. Go on, Hassan. I'm going to finish off in a minute.
I was going to say before when you talked about story, he was always a backup goalie. He was always a backup goalie, and he ended up becoming number one goalie. And that's what I'm saying. If we were to bring another goalkeeper to challenge Mendy, I wouldn't be surprised if he became number one like he did last time. He's always been challenged.
Mendy's just Mendy. When people say Mendy's world class, I listen. I understand that, and for me, it's a fair assessment. He was top class before he came to Chelsea, in my opinion. If you watched him close enough, you'd know he was top class before he came to Chelsea. I just think with a lot of rivals, they like to either stir the pot or go along with disgraces on Sky Sports. You know what I'm talking about? Simon, whatever his name is, that dickhead. What I'm saying is, right, all these people conduct up all this crap about all the faults that these people have made in their careers. For me, Mendy is world class. I think he's top 5 goalkeepers right now, and he thoroughly deserves all the respect he gets. And I think for me, he didn't have to take a Champions League, and it shouldn't have to have taken a Champions League for him to earn respect, because I think as soon as he stepped in, I think his first few games, it was a bit up and down. He never had a bad game apart from West Brom game, and he still managed to make good saves in them games. And that just proves that the ambition's always going to be there with him. And I think you have a proper goalkeeper there, man. You just hold on to him.
And don't forget, he's broke the Champions League record in terms of least goals conceded.
Yeah,
and and don't forget, if the overhead kick never went in from, was it Porto? Not Porto.
Yeah,
if that didn't go in, he would have won the whole campaign invincible while having the least goals conceded.
Yeah, I hear that. Listen, there's been 115 of you here all the way through. Appreciate it massively on GNA TV. We're at 94 likes, so we're 6 away from 100 likes. Please smash that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're new as well, please subscribe to GNA TV. We will be back probably tomorrow with some more news. We've got the Euro watch-alongs over the weekends to do as well, so make sure you tune in for that as well. Thanks to everyone here. Josh, I'm brain dead. Lewis, Winter Surfer. Go and follow KH No Filter as well. KH No Filter. Go over there, watch that. Hassan. Lewis, are you doing a show today, Lewis?
Yeah, 6:30.
There you go, 6:30. Lewis is doing his show, so go over to Carefree Lewis G on there. And Wayne as well. Big up to Wayne as well. And yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we get Lukaku over the line, which I think will probably not be soon. It'll probably be throughout the Euros at some point. Hopefully we can get it done. And we'll see him.
Lukaku?
Haaland.
No, Lukaku. Lukaku, clip him. Clip
You said it. Someone clip that.
Haaland. I meant Haaland. Sorry, not Lukaku. It's been a long day and I'm hot in this room. I'm sweating, to be honest. I hope Haaland comes to Chelsea and hopefully he can start banging in them goals and shutting them Man United fans up, shutting them Arsenal fans up, shutting them Spurs fans up, shutting them Man City fans up, shutting every fucking fan up in the Premier League. We will dominate if that happens. Mark my words, and we move. Let's go.
VIP, still key. Like Bando, bitch, oh please, yeah. Brand new whip, no keys, yeah. Get down.